Sprint Association Heat Race number 1. In the car number 14, this is a 2009 Bailey chassis sponsored by Bell's Property Services. The driver is Ed Bell. On the outside, a brand new 2012 Henchcraft. This is Wally Butler in the Mazer Group 35W. Inside of row number 2 is the 21. This being driven tonight by Rich Nelson. On the outside, the FXR Racing number 29 is Dylan Sabatini. Inside row 3, another new 2012 Henchcraft. The number 1 is Chris Soren. And outside in the 31, that's a 2006 Bailey, driven by Frank Elias. Al Giesbrecht scheduled to start on the back row, but I don't see him. All right, coming to the green flag now out of turn number 4. Como looks him over and waves the green, and we are going lightning sprint racing.
We have 3 motorcycles that are parked in a reserve spot. They need to be moved right away. The plate numbers are 3DG50, 6AG97, and 3CM54. Please move right away. You're in a reserve spot.
Well, Dylan Sabatini in the FXR Racing St. Anne Hotel 29 coming up on the back of a very fast 35W of Wally Butler. That is a Henchcraft up front, followed by a Bailey in second. Well, most of these cars on the racetrack using a 16 square foot wing, that is 4x4, and those wings produce over 500 pounds of downforce on these cars. Now Giesbrecht in the 13, a little off the pace as the leaders come around. Wally Butler in the Mazer Group 35, really flying. These cars produce the fastest lap times at Red River Co-op Speedway of any class. Wally Butler's last lap time, 17.9 seconds. Three to go as the 14 of Ed Bell back into the pit area. The Mazer Group 35W still leads. Wally Butler out of Narrow, Manitoba, which is just north on Henderson Highway. That's a 2012 Henchcraft with a 2008 Suzuki GSXR 1000 engine. 2011 marked the rookie season for the 35W of Wally Butler on dirt. He is a former SCCA. We've got trouble with Wally Butler, the former SCCA road racer, rolling to a stop in the Henchcraft. Checkered flag is waving. Your winner, the Energy 106.29 of Dylan Sabatini. What a tough break for Wally Butler in the 35W. Out of Narrow, Manitoba, the New Holland Agriculture, New Holland Construction 35W rolling to a stop on the front chute.
Well, that is a tough break, Darren. He had that locked up solid. He was long gone.
Absolutely. That was one fast race car for, I guess, 7 of the 8 laps that they had, and unfortunately did not finish.
Well, and that's what they say, before you can finish first you got to finish. Now, that same thing applies. You got to be in to win, and you got to grab a 50-50 ticket. You see those folks with that strip of white stuff up in the air? Well, that's a 50-50 ticket, a strip of tickets, and they'd like you to jump in. Last week, we gave away just about $900, I think, and I don't know what the pricing is. I know it's a great deal. Half the money to one lucky ticket holder, the other half to the driver's point fund, and one quick time on these 3 motorcycles that need to be moved, 3DG50, 6AG97, and 3CM54. You see that ugly white tow truck out there? That's where your bike will end up soon.
Maybe those bike engines will end up on one of these lightning sprints. Of course, these run 1,000cc engines. They are 6-speed transmissions. They only shift once, and that'll be at the drop of the green flag. Most of the guys will run 3rd gear here at Red River Co-op Speedway, so they'll start in 2nd and get into 3rd and get on with the race. All right, on the pole of this one, the 4C is Chris Bowman. He's out of Tyndall, Manitoba. This is a 1996 CNC chassis with a Kawasaki 1000 engine. On the outside, the Emery Demolition North Star number 10. This is Amber Balkan. Amber, the feature of an article in Grand Forks, North Dakota just recently. The trucks went down last weekend, as did the lightning sprints to River City Speedway. Amber Balkan posted the fastest lap time of any car in the pits at River City Speedway last week. Inside row number 2, the 17, is Jesse Giesbrecht. He's out of Winkler. This is a 2005 ART chassis. ART very involved in the full-size sprint cars. And they also build lightning sprints. On the outside, the Pioneer Precision Land Solutions 27. This is a Henchcraft out of Winkler. The driver is Chris Unruh. Inside row number 3, the number 2, sponsored by Gerald Bernard Realtor and Packin' Away Mobile Storage. This is two-time NLSA champion Roland Bernard. And on the outside, the number 7 is Brent Stagg in a Bailey chassis out of Niverville. All right, here we go, lightning sprint racing. Heat number 2, Amber Balkan drives the North Star 10 to the lead so far. Chris Bowman in the CNC chassis in second spot. Here comes Roland Bernard. Keep your eyes on that number 2, the two-time NLSA champion in a Henchcraft chassis. That is actually a 2007 Henchcraft chassis. They are built in Pennsylvania with a 2008 Suzuki GSX-R 1000 engine. These engines produce 185 horsepower at the crankshaft. And they turn 12,000 RPM, and they do it with a reliability that you won't find in any other production engine. Uh-oh, troubles for Balkan. You see the left sideboard has collapsed. The left side, now you see what happens, of course. Uh-oh, heads up. Tough break for Amber Balkan. Now you know, if you take a look at these sprint cars on the racetrack, you'll see the left sideboard is higher than the right sideboard. Right there is exactly why they have those big, tall left sideboards. Amber's collapsed when she went in the corner. The car got instantly loose. That big sideboard will actually keep the car a little tighter, but obviously with those support structures of that wing collapsing, tough break for Amber Balkan in the 10 car, and well, that's tough to drive when that sideboard goes down.
Yeah, it sure is. I wouldn't want to try that now. Amber did tip the car over on its side Friday night in Grand Forks, and I'm wondering if the wing that she tipped over on Friday might be that one right there, or because that they did tip it over, and I overheard Mike in the pit area talking about doing something to the wing, and unfortunately, may have just took her off. She looked like she had the crowd covered there. That's a tough break for her with that wing coming apart on her. That's a lot of force. People don't realize how much wind is actually coming into play there.
Well, you're right, Pat, and of course, going from 750 cc's last year to 1,000 cc's this year, they're up about 40 horsepower, so these cars actually have to be pedaled now on these racetracks. With the extra horsepower, you got to control the throttle a little more, and obviously, if it's loose to start with that broken sideboard, well, it's going to be tougher to drive. So Amber Balkan heading back to the pit area.
Unfortunately, if you cause a yellow in a heat race, you go to the pits. Now, if you notice when they come by next time, no surprise to you, Darren, but some of the drivers use 4 straps to hold that wing sideboard up. Some use 3. Amber had 3, and she may well come out with 4 in the feature.
All right, keep your eyes on the Packin' Away Mobile Storage number 2 of Roland Bernard. Chris Bowman in the 4C is on the point, but Bernard looking very fast. Here we go. You can hear him going through the 1 gear on the straightaway, and now they're in 3rd gear, and that is where they will stay. Hammer down. Chris Bowman doing a nice job in the CNC chassis. He's sponsored by Select Shows and Winnipeg Sport and Leisure, along with Hinter Enterprises. ...2004 Kawasaki 1000. That's a Ninja engine on board of that 4C. All the engines in the Lightning Sprint division must be as they came out of the motorcycle. You are allowed an aftermarket header and an aftermarket airbox. They run 91 octane fuel from Red River Co-op gas bars. And we've got 2 to go. Well, although that 4C, the 2004 Kawasaki, a little older than some of the engines out here, they say the 2004 Kawasaki 1000, one of the most powerful 1000s ever. Heads up in turn 1, side-by-side racing. Chris Bowman does a nice job of holding back a very stout Roland Bernard in the 2 car. We've got ourselves a race here as we come towards the checkered flag. Your winner, the Select Shows 4C of Chris Bowman. Second spot going to Roland Bernard. Third is going to be the 17. And then the white shell number 7 out of Niverville. That's Brent Stegg coming home in 4th spot. Brent, a self-employed carpenter. He's been racing for 1.5 years. Also sponsored by Stegg Building and Design and Performance Supply. I guess I should get you some lineup sheets, huh?
Yeah. Only if you're ready for a break.
There you go, sir.
All right, we're getting set to move into the Super Stock division now. And on the pole, we have a lady with us, Tabitha Wasilek, on the pole in the Epic Dealer Solutions Grainmaster number 4. To her outside, the 9 is Walt Morris in the Winnipeg Dodge Enterprise Rent-A-Car number 9. Inside row 2, it's Rod Fiddler in the 5. In the Chuds from Gimli number 5.